Well, 2020, we've finally made it to the end. It's been a tough year for cinema, with a lot of movies either late or being delayed to 2021. And finding the movies that I would consider best is a bit of a struggle. So this year, it's a little bit different. This is a list of Asian movies released in 2020 that I either really liked or really surprised me. They aren't all must-watch movies, but I have to make it clear, this is a very personal list. I'm not saying these movies are the best, just that I like them and I hope that you get a chance to watch them. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit with this list as it contains 3 movies that hit cinemas in their home country in 2019 but were released on Blu-ray or web streaming in 2020. I'm going to do this list in alphabetical order, but I'm going to save what I consider to be the best movie until last. Here is Arty Dan's 15 2020 favourites and biggest surprise Asian movies. Now this one is a surprise. Released during the start of the pandemic, when a new movie was pounced on, Buddha Palm Technique debuted on Chinese web streaming back in March. I originally described this movie as the movie you didn't know you wanted but must see, and I still agree, with its exciting fusion of genres that mixes sci-fi, wuxia, fantasy and action together to make one heck of a fun movie. A few big well-known names in Colin Chow, Wong Yap-fei and Justin Chung round up the supporting cast in a movie about a debt collector who needs money for his sister's life-saving surgery, so he volunteers to be a human experiment in the Buddha Palm program. But recognizing his strength and talent, he is offered a way to bypass the program and gain the Buddha Palm strength, as well as the ingredients needed to save his sister's life. At times there are some dodgy special effects, but with its visual flair and multiple pop culture references, this is a fun movie to watch. The only problem is there's no English subtitled version. All year I waited for a good horror, and it took right until the end until I got one. Only, this is more of a thriller with horror elements, but that won't stop me from classing it as 2020's best Asian horror movie. And this movie has it all. An exciting storyline about parallel times, and a crazy protagonist who has absolute power over her victim due to this makes for an edge-of-your-seat movie. A woman receives a mysterious phone call and finds out it's from a girl who's living inside her house, only 20 years in the past. She helps her out by providing her with information to avoid being murdered by her mother. But this ends up changing the future for both women, as the woman in the present must fight to work out how to stop the woman in the past from changing anything else. This ended up premiering on Netflix in late November and has instantly become a success. This is well worth watching. A movie robbed of a cinema release, Double World found success when it premiered on web streaming back in July, both on local Chinese services and on Netflix. And it's not hard to see why it was another fun movie to watch. Directed by Hong Kong's Teddy Chan of Kung Fu Jungle and Accidental Spy fame, and with a good-looking cast of international and local Chinese actors, including Henry Lau, Peter Ho, and Lin Chen-han, this movie is a successful example of crowdfunding based on a very popular Chinese mobile and PC game of the same name. Double World sees our young hero head to the capital city of their province to compete in a tournament to find the best fighters to defend the land. Alongside an outcast from his village and a young girl looking for a team to fight on, they challenge the other teams and the corrupt official running the tournament. A sad ending doesn't detract from the almost 2-hour spectacle this movie will put you through. The 800 is definitely one of my favourite movies of the year. Set just before World War II, The 800 tells the true story of a band of ragtag soldiers, farmers and deserters who rally themselves to defend a warehouse on the banks of the Suzhou River in Shanghai from Japanese forces. Watching on over the other side of the river is a contingent of local and international citizens, powerless to help them but vocally urging them on. At almost 3 hours, this is a long movie to get through, and the first hour is usually make or break for a lot of people. with the breakneck yet confusing pace and storytelling. But once the movie settles down and kicks in, it's a very enjoyable experience where time just flies watching it. As of recording this video, The 800 is the worldwide #1 movie for 2020, with a rough estimate of around $450 million in the worldwide box office. This Korean action comedy movie was quite a pleasant surprise. When an elite secret agent decides he's had enough of the spy life and wants to take up a career in creating webtoons, he fakes his death and starts a new life. But 15 years later, his career's going nowhere, so he decides to create a series based on his previous career as a secret agent, and instantly finds the success he was looking for. Only problem is, it also attracts both his old agency and the bad guys he put away. Some tight and exciting action scenes mixed in with the usual Korean light humour make this one of the best popcorn flicks you could watch this year. And the addition of the excellent 2D animated scenes used throughout the film add another dimension to an already exciting action comedy. Another Korean film that took me by complete surprise is this foul-mouthed movie, heavily inspired by the Jim Carrey comedy film Liar Liar. A Korean politician, Joo Sang-suk, with a huge habit of lying about everything, makes a wish to win her next election. At the same time, her grandmother also makes a wish for her to stop lying. Thanks to the magic of movies and divine intervention, Joo Sang-suk ends up getting her grandmother's wish. And that's where the fun of this movie begins. Because she can no longer lie, all of her inner thoughts about everything, from what she thinks about her policies, to her constituents, and even her husband, are fair game for her brutal truth. If you like movies that don't take themselves seriously, but also take a dig at real-life politics, then this could be an enjoyable movie for you to watch. This was another movie that took me by complete surprise. I was expecting an action film about boxing, an Asian Rocky, but what I got was a captivating family drama about a boxer desperately trying to establish a relationship with a daughter he's never met, while her grandmother vindictively tries to take custody of her. A boxer released from prison meets his young daughter for the first time, an adorable little headstrong girl who's also a little cautious at the start, but he takes instantly to his new role as a father, quickly and seriously. When her grandmother finds out about her existence, she fights for custody. With money and lawyers on her side, he fights a battle he can't win until his daughter is diagnosed with leukemia and requires urgent medical care. Her fight against the disease inspires him to return to the ring and take back his boxing crown, while his proud daughter watches on. Bring your tissues for this one, because this is a heartbreaker of a movie, especially for parents who have had children going through similar scenarios. One of 3 movies on my list that premiered in cinemas in their home country in 2019, but on wider release in 2020, is this Vietnamese horror thriller based on the true story of a demonic serial killer. Gory, chilling, and exciting, this movie was an unexpected surprise from a country whose movies are usually rather bland, although 2019's Fury started bucking that trend. Well crafted with lots of atmosphere, Kumanthong tells the story of a man who takes up residence in a remote village with the sinister intention of sacrificing young women to resurrect his departed mother. But caught in the middle is his young bride, a mute girl who finds the strength to stand up to him and stop his demonic plan. Some slight issues with censorship, which resulted in some editing to the movie that makes it a little confusing, isn't enough to stop me recommending this creepy true story horror chiller. Another 2019 movie that saw a wide 2020 release. This Hong Kong thriller based on the Japanese novel The Black House is one of the best movies from Hong Kong in the last few years. Outstanding performances from veterans Anthony Wong and Karina Lam, as well as Carlos Chan, are just the tip of the iceberg for this edge-of-your-seat thriller, with a gripping storyline and some outstanding visuals. An insurance broker starts to investigate a strange man who is desperate to claim the insurance money after his son commits suicide. He suspects the man killed his son, and fears he will strike again and kill his wife after he notices she has a large policy against her. He slowly gets caught up in his trap, and this leads to an exciting final third of the movie as his mental state starts to deteriorate. It's a dark and creepy thriller with a fantastic ending, so if you love Hong Kong thrillers, then I would definitely recommend this one. Not all of my surprise movies for this year are action, thrillers, or horrors, and while at its heart it appears to be a romantic movie, it does have some science fiction elements behind it. Love You Forever is a delightfully charming movie about a lifelong romance. A young man and a woman fall madly in love in high school, but tragedy strikes and she dies. But he has a mysterious watch that is able to turn back time, bringing her back to life. The side effects are that he ages and ceases to exist. His identity is wiped from everyone's memory. Love You Forever follows our two lovers as they rekindle their romance, only for tragedy to keep striking and memories keep being erased. Anyone with even a tiny romantic bone in their body should find something here to enjoy, with an ending that might make you bawl in tears. Well worth hunting down and watching this quality sci-fi drama. A movie full of science fiction themes is this action comedy Hong Kong Chinese co-production. Another movie that definitely would have been released into cinemas, but instead premiered on web streaming back in August, sees the return to the big screen of Hong Kong Naughty's action heartthrob Sean Yu. He plays a monster hunter, tasked with the job of capturing beings that normal people can't see. But one day he runs into a young girl named Jimu, who has been seeing monsters her whole life, but no one has ever believed her. Now he must protect Jimu from the people who seek to capture her, as she is destined for greater things in the monster world. Some fantastic visual effects, mixed in with some funny light humour provided by Yu's sidekick known as Paper, top off this movie, with the only letdown being the rather soft ending, but the journey there is an exciting one. Another Korean comedy on my list of surprises for this year, and it was a toss-up between this and Mr. Zoo, with this one winning out just because I found myself laughing more while watching this. In a funny, only in the movies type scenario, Secret Zoo tells the story of a young lawyer desperate to prove he can do more than just menial tasks. So he is given the role to try and turn around the fortunes of a failing zoo in order for it to be liquidated. The only problem is, the zoo has just sold all its most attractive animals. Along with the remaining staff, he devises a crazy plan to create realistic looking animal suits that they can wear in order to trick park guests. Except one day, when the person in the polar bear suit decides to drink some cola and instantly becomes an overnight success, attracting visitors in their hundreds. While it can at times be a little silly, especially the concept, who really cares? The movie has genuine moments of humour and is an entertaining way to spend 2 hours with a big tub of popcorn. The third of 3 2019 released movies is this excellent Taiwanese sports drama about two talented basketball-loving brothers whose career paths diverge in opposite directions but ultimately meet up in a thrilling finale. One brother gets recruited to an elite high school, while the other to a public school who's about to disband their team. Eventually, their respective teams make their way to the championships, where they have to work out their differences and realise what's more important in their life. Some thrilling and exciting basketball action scenes starring two of the latest Taiwanese entertainment heartthrobs. This movie is currently very hard to find as it still hasn't had a wide release. But if you can find it, it's well worth watching. One of my guilty pleasures are silly comedy films, and The Winners definitely falls into this category. Like most movies on this list, this was another robbed of a cinema screening, but kept its original release date, moving from cinema to the Chinese video streaming app Watermelon. The Winners is a crazy comedy movie about a very diligent worker in a bank who is tasked with the role of being a bank robber during a training drill with the local police force. They want to test their response times to a bank robbery, but he has other ideas. He takes his role very seriously, holding the staff hostage and even pretending to kill the police officers who dare to negotiate with him. What should take less than 30 minutes ends up spanning all night as the police run out of ideas about how to end the fake hostage situation. It's as hilarious as it is entertaining, with comedy actor Chen Pin-dong really shining in the lead role as Yan Jin, with a supporting cast of well-known Chinese actors playing along with the crazy scenario. Another movie not so easy to find, but if you can find it, it does have excellent English subtitles. And this last movie is my movie of the year. This multiple award-winning movie stars quite a few very big and well-known Korean actors, including the excellent Byung-hun Lee in the lead role as Director Kim, the man in charge of the main Korean intelligence agency who works alongside the information provided by a whistleblower to remove the current Korean president, Park, who has taken complete authority over the country. Based on the exciting true story about the real assassination of President Park in the 70s, this movie never holds back. On the edge of your seat action scenes and thrilling moments as we follow Director Kim and the agents who help him, as well as the men protecting President Park in the lead up to the assassination. The real surprise with this film has been the lack of international chatter about it, especially after the success of Parasite in 2019. With Korean cinema being the flavour of the moment, this political thriller is a definite must-watch and is my choice for the best Asian movie of 2020. Thank you for indulging me in allowing me to present to you my top 15 favourites list. Remember, this is a personal list and I haven't watched every movie, so no doubt I missed some good titles. Please leave me a comment below with your selections. If you get a chance, check out my video on my 15 biggest Asian film disappointments of 2020, which will release after this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video and discovered some new movies to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with more Asian movies and the latest Chinese movie trailers translated into English.